Alrighty, we are here for round 2. Currently 1-0 after playing a rather awkward round 1 match where our opponent conceded, unfortunately. So maybe we'll actually get an opponent that is willing to put up a fight this round. Oh, hope he doesn't like it. So when to use your Gitaxian probe is pretty interesting, actually. I would not be opposed to just firing it off right now, seeing what my opponent is working with, and then seeing what I actually want off this ponder. So we're going to do that. Hopefully our opponent's not playing burn, because that would be awkward. Mud! Where are our null rods? So Forge Master, Metalworker, Platinum Empyrean. Ooh, Daze is probably going to be pretty good. Ooh la la. Any therapies and Young Pyromancers? See, now these might be cards that I would have kept. Daze, Strix, Dig. Instead, we're going to shuffle. Ooh, therapy. Hello. Everything is coming up Gerry. So opponent's probably going to lean on Cloud Post. Pretty juicy wasteland target, if I do say so myself. And yeah, we're gonna therapy this turn. We're gonna bust up these metalworkers. Opponent drew a Blightsteel Colossus. That's an expensive one. And then next turn we can go digging. Maybe find a clock, find a Pyromancer and a probe, flashback this therapy, leave our opponent with a bunch of fatty boom boom do nothings. Was that a Vasuva? Yeah, okay. Our opponent had that. Cool. So our opponent actually has a bunch of mana. Maybe we shouldn't have named Metalworker. I didn't really think about that Vasuva. Didn't really look too closely. So yeah, maybe our Daze is not live anymore. Maybe our opponent's gonna get to resolve a Forge Master. So, ooh, Strix. Hello. Well, that works out in our favor, certainly. Koldafa, Flame Fiends? Nah, it's close, though. Sundering Titan, jeez. So many boom booms. Trying to write Sundering Titan on my little paint thing here. It's not really working out. Trying to write with your mouse is difficult. Uh-oh. There's only 7 mana. Oh, another Forge Master. That's not good. So now we need an Innocent Blood. Guess we don't need it as soon as possible because our opponent doesn't have a ton of artifacts, but we're going to start things off with a Brainstorm, shuffle in some of these lands. Ooh, Wasteland. Holy moly. Holy moly. I think I'm just going to put back land, and then waste my opponent's Cloud Post and play Pyromancer. How does that sound? That sounds pretty good to me, actually. Then we have the Daze to pitch Force. We have Snapcaster for a cantrip, or maybe an Innocent Blood or something. And kapow! So there are lots of blue decks out there that I think would struggle in this type of situation. And this deck is not really doing that. Granted, my opponent's draws have not been the best, but I think it's still rather telling. Alright. So let's leave a Ponder, I guess. For old Snappy Doo. So we have another Bolt that we can double up with. So maybe just take Bolt Force or Bolt Dig. Probably Bolt Dig. Can also see just taking Probe Dig, making another token, forcing, removing Daze probably. And then we need to hit a land, kind of. Dig is kind of far out there, but our opponent's going to start casting fat stuff pretty soon. So what's our plan here? What if we take Bolt, Force of Will? Next turn, our opponent plays a big thing. We force it. Hopefully they don't have another cheapo artifact that they can play. So opponent has 3 cards. It's Empyrean, Blightsteel Colossus, Sundering Titan. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to force whatever they play. I guess Dig is going to resolve, and then we could snap our Dig, potentially. So I kind of like Bolt Force. Gotta be careful with that. Cards move around. Don't really like that too much. And then if worse comes to worse, we have to force pitching Snappy Doo. That shouldn't be too bad, because should have the way cleared. We can start attacking with these Pyromancer tokens. And maybe we actually just get to daze something too. That'd be sick. It's going to be the Platy. It's like the only one our opponent can really cast. So yeah, we'll just daze that guy. Bang. So this works out pretty well. Another Pyromancer, unfortunately can't really cast that. But the way is clear. Our opponent can't do anything. That's awesome. They just have to... Ooh, another Cloud Post. That's a lot of mana. So they can do something. What can they do? Just untap Grim? Yeah, because this is only 6. Alright. So, draw a blue card. Nice. So, we could run the maximum greeds. And maybe it's not actually that greedy, because this is 6, puts our opponent to 11. We have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so we can actually ponder here. Because even if we brick, we still have lethal. But we hit anyway. So even if our opponent plays like Glimmer Post and some fatty or whatever, we should be good. So right now they have Colossus, Sundering Titan, and random card. Fatty Boom Batties. So many fatties. This is kind of... Ooh, Ugin. That's a good one. Can't really beat that if that resolves. So definitely going to want the Kolaghan's Command and probably the other Therapy. Promo Metalworker. Nice. And opponents should just be dead here. Nice, nice. Alright. Therapy. Other command. Doesn't look like they have a ton of utility lands, mostly like Cloud Post and whatnot. Probably have some Wastelands too. Pyroblast is cuts. Deluge is reasonable. Still like, I guess like the removal's not great, but they have Metalworker, so bolts are fine. I could see cutting a bolt, but I really don't want to be hard pressed for a removal spell for Metalworker. Deluge kind of solves a lot of problems. So does Jace. We can bounce like the Forge Master and stuff with that. Guess I could see cutting either a Pyromancer or a Strix. Definitely want something to Flashback Therapy with. So I think we're just going to cut a Bolt and a Strix. Chalice on 1 is going to be the toughest card to beat, I think. So it's possible we're actually supposed to cut like a cantrip or something so we don't get super flooded on stuff, but it's not like the other stuff that we're siding in would be all that much better. Alright, submit, and away we go. This is reasonable. This is not a great hand, but it is reasonable. Opponent's mulliganing, sure, we'll keep. So we don't have an answer to a Chalice, but we do have a Wasteland. And a Daze if we manage to get a turn. So opponent's on 5 cards, open on Cloud Post. And then we could just land Ponder, or we could just waste them. I kind of feel more comfortable having Daze out there. But I don't know. If they had like Ancient Tomb, they would just play that and Chalice. If they had City Traders, they'd probably wait. So I don't know. If they have like a City of Traders and a Chalice, like our Daze isn't gonna do anything anyway. So I'm just gonna waste them since they're so low on cards. You know, maybe they have Vesuva with like nothing to copy or whatever. So I think this is a good play for us. We basically just time walk us both, which is kind of nice because I kind of want extra draw steps anyway. Uh-oh. Okay, Grim Monolith. That's fine. Now we kind of want to ponder into a force. Ew, well, I guess they only have 2 cards, so it's not that big of a deal. All right. Well, that's about the best we can ask for. I don't think I want to probe this turn, so I'll just draw up the Force of Will. I don't mind pitching the extra dig to that. And then we'll see what is the worst our opponent can do with potentially 8 mana. I think realistically they would have liked to play turn 2 Metalworker and not had to play the Grim Monolith, and then they just have a Monolith still in their hand, but if we got the Bolt that Metalworker, that also would have been very good for us. Guess they just want to untap the Grim. Alright, so do we want this extra land? We can probe into this extra land, or we could just make a Pyromancer token. I think we just want to make a token. They did have Vesuva. Suck on that. Oh, God, another Force of Will. We're so good at this. So yeah, reveal Forge Master, untap the Monolith, and then try and have a big ol' Ugin turn, but we're going to do our best to make sure that doesn't happen. Need to draw an artifact to make that happen anyway. So what do you got for me? Lodestone Golem. Alright, so you have a bunch of stuff that I need to Force a Will. If you lead with Golem, we're just going to force pitching Dig. You just lead with Ugin, we're definitely forcing that. Yeah, okay. Mana float inconveniently. Force of Will is not fair. Conveniently have 6 cards in the yard. So we get to cast Dig this turn. It's possible we want to pick up a land. So might just want to do this now. Because we could also find like a land and a Therapy, which would be excellent. Well, what do you know? Guess we want Therapy Underground Sea over just the Innocent Blood. Deck is great. Get your Golem. Flash back. Untap one of my elementals, basically. Get your Forge Master. Now you have Vesuva. I have Force of Will and Dig Through Time. Good luck. Hello and good luck. Kick things off with a brainstorm. Start filling our graveyard for this other dig. Oh, geez. That's a lot of happenings. Probably not going to need that deluge. And I guess we put the dig on top because we're going to use everything else this turn. So if our opponent had 4 mana, what could they have not cast? And they didn't want to make their land drop. I think Ugin is a safe bet. I'm not sure how many they actually have. Maybe it's 4, but I doubt it. I'll just name it. Because I don't think it really matters what this first name is. Like, obviously we'd like to hit, but it's pretty unlikely. Yeah, okay, just another land. Alright, now we send with everyone. Add another token to the table. Sarpadian Empires, let's do it. And now our opponent is dead for Xaxes if they don't cast anything and they block a Pyromancer. So, simple. So simple. There you see the power of Therapy plus Counterspell. Delver kind of would have been nice to get like an early clock going or whatever, but it's just not necessary. Like, you play a Pyromancer, it does all the work for you. So yeah, that's about it. This is how we do things.